What if I told you that the secret to beating inflation is not clipping coupons or cutting out that $5 latte? It's becoming the producer, not the consumer. You see, most people panic when prices go up, but the wealthy, they learn how to position themselves to profit from it. Let me show you what that means and how you too can start doing it, even with a small amount of money. Welcome to the Dividend Dentist. I'm Dr. Adam Coren, a dentist by trade and investor by design, and I'm here to help you achieve true financial independence and time freedom with passive income. So let's get started. So let's first define inflation. Inflation is just the fall in the purchasing power of money. As inflation rises, the value of your dollar decreases and prices go up. This just means that you need more money to purchase the same amount of goods and services. And this brings us to our fundamental problem, which is inflation punishes consumers. Inflation hurts consumers because most people only spend money to purchase things that go down in value, while their dollars are also going down in value as well. Let's talk about some common examples of this. When gas prices rise, consumers pay more. Let's say that rents go up over time. Consumers pay more. Even when groceries go up, consumers pay more. Every dollar that they earn loses purchasing power over time, and they have no way to fight back. But now, let's discuss the solution to this problem. And to do so, we'll contrast consumers versus producers. Producers, on the other hand, own things that tend to go up in value. To explain this further, let's use an example that anyone can understand. Think about a gas station. Imagine two people are pumping gas at the same time. One is a consumer and the other is a producer. In an inflationary environment, a consumer mindset might sound something like this: I really hope that prices go down. On the other hand, a producer mindset might sound something like this: I own part of the company selling the gas. You see, when inflation hits, the consumer pays more, but the producer gets paid more for the same product. As you can see, it's the same economy for both individuals, but totally different outcomes. Now, this doesn't mean that the producer is greedy or that they hope that everyday items become unaffordable. Instead, it just means that as the company that they own shares in continues to grow, it not only benefits them as the producer, but also allows them to serve more people as a shareholder of the company that produces the goods and services. So this brings us to our mindset shift. The ultimate goal in an inflationary environment is to be the producer. You beat inflation not by earning a higher income, but by owning the assets that produce income. In other words, you go from working for money to owning the machines that print money. And no, this doesn't mean that you need to go out and own your own business or have a real estate empire. It means that you need to own income-producing assets that not only benefit you, but also serve more people and go up with inflation. So let's discuss a few examples of income-producing assets that benefit from inflation. Our first example consists of dividend-paying stocks, like energy companies or oil and gas companies, following our example from earlier, that raise prices faster than inflation. Our next example consists of rental real estate or passive real estate, like REITs, crowdfunding, or syndications, that collect rent checks that rise with inflation. And the last example being things like passive business ownership, that again, raise prices of goods and services that keep pace with inflation. Next up, we need to discuss what to avoid and what to own in an inflationary environment. We want to get rid of or limit things that go down in value with inflation, like cars, consumer items, or even cash. A lot of people out there say that you should save money. But think about it. If the government is constantly printing money, saving money in a low-interest checking account, or worse, putting it under your mattress, only guarantees that it'll be worth less tomorrow. Instead, other than having a small emergency buffer set aside, try to deploy the rest of your dollars into assets that rise with inflation as quickly as possible. And again, we want to own things that go up in value with inflation, like stocks, real estate, or businesses, because inflation ultimately destroys money but increases asset value. So lastly, let's discuss how the wealthy use inflation to their advantage to profit from it. They use or borrow cheap money to buy productive, income-producing assets that rise in value over time. Let me give you a few examples of this to put this concept into perspective. For example, a wealthy person might borrow cheap money to finance a rental property that a tenant pays off over time while the property rises in value with inflation. Another example might be investing money into leveraged dividend-paying funds, like closed-end funds, or options ETFs that profit from market volatility instead of suffering from it. In other words, when you're a producer, inflation actually helps you because the dollars that you pay back later are worth less than the dollars that you borrowed today, while your asset equity and income continues to increase. So in summary, inflation is your enemy when you're a consumer, but it's your ally when you're a producer. Ultimately, inflation itself isn't the issue. It's how you're positioned in response to it. So the next time you see prices rising at the gas pump, don't panic, but ask yourself the question, am I the consumer or am I the producer? Because again, consumers get punished by inflation, while producers profit from it. As always, if you like today's content, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.